Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Cameo, and I am a divine channel of the highest white light. I am so grateful to be a part of your journey. If you found this video, you are more than likely on what the collective would call a twin flame journey. I personally don't like that term as much anymore. It's kind of become perverted, just like most other things in society. But I have been guided to come on here and provide some guidance and support for you along the way. And it is probably the toughest journey you will endure in your lifetime. The journey back to soul, journey back to yourself, journey back to your twin. And so I wanted to do a collective reading. We're going to start with the traditional tarot deck here. And, I have a couple of notes. I have a couple of messages I want to channel. And then we will, let's see. So the first card that came out is the Six of Pentacles. So whoever I'm channeling this message for is more than likely feeling some significant imbalance in their situation, and sometimes this may not even be an imbalance romantically. This could be an imbalance within your work, in your family, in your friend circle. But this card represents the exchange of energy. In love, it represents the importance of reciprocity. And if you'll notice in the card, the person standing up almost looks like he's kind of just giving crumbs to the others. He's got a scale in his hands, which represent balance. And it just looks like he's kind of giving them crumbs. And so you may be feeling like your twin or your divine masculine is just giving you crumbs right now. Although you're feeling one way, things aren't manifesting in the 3D the way that you would expect. And when I use the terms divine masculine or divine feminine, that does not relate to gender. You could be a divine feminine and be in a male body. You could be a divine feminine, or you could be a divine masculine and be in a female body. It doesn't really matter. We all have a balance of masculine and feminine energies, and part of the journey is learning to balance those energies within ourselves. So if you're feeling drained in your connection, like you're doing all of the inner work, maybe you're doing all of the reaching out, then this message is going to be for you. So first of all, I want to just take a minute. Let's put your hand over your heart, and hand over your heart, other hand over your solar plexus, kind of right here with your belly button, and just take a moment. Breathe and just ask Spirit, where am I giving too much? Where can I receive more openly? And just let that marinate for a minute. Let's see here. Oh, this one came flying. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune came out. So the next card is the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles is in the reverse position. And this card represents collaboration. Two people plus spirit working together. In the reversed represents misalignment. So it's not that the bond isn't real. It's not that one or both of you isn't showing up to build the foundation, but twin flame union isn't just about magnetic attraction. It's about spiritual carpentry. So if right now you're feeling like you're doing all the work spiritually, maybe you're feeling like you're waiting for your twin to catch up, take a moment, just journal, one step you're willing to build for yourself. Spirit says union begins with union within the self. So if you are legitimately on a twin flame journey, then what that entails in part is a I don't even call it significant. It is probably the most profound spiritual awakening and spiritual activation. That's really kind of the purpose of the twin flame journey. It's not just, you know, good times and great sex. It is a spiritual journey that you both have committed to be on prior to coming here. So whatever is going on currently in the 3D, you have to understand that whatever's going on, whatever your twin may be doing or whatever they may not be doing, this could all, depending on the journey, depending on what you're here for, what your greater purpose is, this person, you may have agreed to do these things. You know, your twin does not want to hurt you on purpose, but there are times when we have soul contracts, we have things that we've agreed to experience, but it's all for our greater good. In the moment, it doesn't feel good. It hurts like hell sometimes, but if you are on this spiritual journey, you will eventually awaken to the fact that what you're here for is greater than a romantic relationship. The mission that you and your twin have, if you are a twin, then you are a very powerful being of light, and so powerful that you were not able to incorporate into a single body. So it's almost kind of like you guys just kind of like had to split up and tag team. Your other self, your higher self, I don't like any of those. None of the earthly terms really describe what it is, but for lack of anything better, your other spiritual half are here for a much bigger mission. And once you do find union, once you do find balance within yourself, that mission doesn't come lightly, and it doesn't come without a heavy weight of responsibility. So there's work that you have to do. There's healing, there's growth. You got to break general curses, karma, all of those things before you will be ready. So what's next? Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, let's see. Got the Knight of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune. We've also got this Tower card. The Tower card has come out, which I was kind of expecting during this. The Tower card, this is where Spirit shakes things up, shakes the ground. The Tower represents like sudden change, collapse of illusions, and a divine reset, usually some sort of divine intervention. And I'm not going into any detail, but I recently experienced this on my own journey, and where I asked for some truth, and it came out in the most unexpected way, but nevertheless, I got what I asked for. So just take a moment, take a look at the card. You can see it's like kind of like some tarot decks refer to it as the blasted tower, where you're going to, like, it just, you know, you've already been through separation. There's like this sudden ending with you and your twin, or some shocking shift in your connection. This card confirms, you know, it wasn't punishment. This card is more of a purification. You have to go through those tower moments, those, as Oprah likes to call them, those aha moments, where you have some great or some profound revelation. So if you're not having these things, and maybe I'll do another video later on ways to recognize if you're a twin. There's lots of those videos out here on YouTube. So I don't know, I may or may not. But yes, the Tower card. So just take a moment, visualize that lightning strike you see in the card. Visualize that lightning strike striking the ground beneath your feet. Release all the false foundations back into the earth. One thing I've learned in my matrix job is that a truth will always reveal a shaky foundation. Okay? All right, next Next card that had popped out is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands means a new spark. So after the Tower moment, once you get through all that, then there'll be a new spark of energy. After the Tower comes the fire. The Ace of Wands represents new passion, ignition, spark of life, spirit. With this card is saying that the connection is not dead. The magnetic pull, the fire, the creative and sexual energy, it is still alive. This card represents possibilities. It shows that once all the illusions fail, the flame can reignite, but it has to be rooted in truth. There can't be any, there has to be full transparency, and it's rooted in truth. So if you're feeling burnout from your situation, from your connection, having to transmute energy, if you are in communication with your twin, some may not be, but even if you're not in communication, that connection will still remain, and you will still feel some of what they feel, and so you can get burnout from that. So but when burnout also can bring these flickers of reignition, and things can reignite unexpectedly. So you just always have to stay open. Let's see. The next card that came out in the reading was the Judgment card. I love this card, but it was in the reverse position. The Judgment card usually means some sort of victory, but in the awakening, but in the reverse position, it represents avoidance. So it may be that at this particular point in time, your twin, your masculine, or what have you, may be in an avoidance mode. The challenge. Upright, the Judgment means awakening, stepping into destiny, but reverse, it's avoidance, denying the truth, and resisting the call. And at this time, Spirit is saying that either one or both twins are not fully stepping into their assignment. So until the call is answered by both twins, union cannot fully stabilize. And this isn't punishment at all. It's just free. It's what you would potentially consider free will. Now, free will isn't free. There's always a trade-off. There's always a balance that happens. To exercise your will in one direction, you have to give up something else in another direction. So, so take a moment and just ask yourself, where am I resisting truth? Where is my twin resisting? And more so, and what you'll want to do, and the best advice that I can give you for this journey is to try your best to stop focusing on your twin. Okay, you have to focus on yourself, because your twin is not your opposite. Your twin is not your the flip side of your coin. Your twin is actually your mirror. Okay, your twin is going to always reflect back to you how you feel and everything about yourself. So the more you love on yourself, the more your twin is going to love you. The more conflict you have within yourself, within your spirit, within your energy, the more conflict you will have with your twin. So just take all of those things to heart. Now, the last two cards that have popped out of the deck were the Page of Cups and the Strength card. And when they popped out, they were not either in the upright or the reverse position, unfortunately. So there's a slight bit of ambiguity here, but let's take a look at the Page of Cups. And that the Page of Cups can kind of represent, small gestures. You might find that you kind of wax and wane in and out with your twin. Maybe you guys ebb and flow. There may be some push and pull. If you're still in the early stages of the journey, you may be in that, what they call the push and pull dynamic, which I don't really like. Again, I don't like any of these terms because once you languify, I don't know if that's even a word, but once you languify something, once you put language to it, or you try to describe it, label it, you're putting it in a box, and then you're creating an expectation of what it should be. And that is probably the second piece of advice that I can give you is not to label it, or try not to label it. You may start out labeling it, and as you go along, you will likely drop a lot of those labels, because you will learn that your journey is very unique to you. Your journey is not something that can be summed up in any video. It's not something that you can read about. It eventually, you can do that in the beginning, and every twin, at least most of the ones that identify as a divine feminine, will do a lot of that research. They want to know, they need to know. The divine masculine is probably going to be overwhelmed by the connection, so their action or their reaction is usually initially going to be to just try to push it down, try not to deal with it, try to well, let's just say this, those who resonate more with the feminine energy are probably going to lean in towards intuition more, lean into that heart space. The divine masculine, in a lot of cases, initially is going to lean more towards logic, reason, and although they feel things, they are more adept at allowing the ego mind to talk them out of, let's say, what the soul is trying to, trying to convince them of, or trying to remind them of. It's not really even a convincing, it's a reminder. It's a reminder that we share this soul, we share this journey. And more than likely, if you are tapping into this video, you have probably shared a lot of lifetimes with this person. And I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. You may spend this lifetime with them. You may not. That is something that's very unique to each twin. There is no, the journey is a journey that you may journey through multiple lifetimes, and there is no guarantee in any lifetime or in any particular situation that you're going to end up with them happily ever after. A lot of that is going to depend on you. And when I say you, I mean you watching this, not your twin. So get out of your, get out of your headspace, get out of that energy of blame or pointing the finger. You are on this journey for a reason. You guys have both agreed to all these things, even though they may be hurtful. Some of it is to help heal wounds, help heal generational curses. What your journey is and why you're here is going to be something that you're going to have to determine for yourself. So, and then the final card that came out, I think this is so fitting, and I promise you I did not do this on purpose, but the Strength card came out in the neutral position, not in the upright or in the reverse. And so if you just take a look at that Strength card, I think, is that a lion? Yeah, that's a lion on there. And so the Strength card, obviously it means strength, but in the sideways position, what that typically means is sideways, usually means some sort of fluctuation. And so, or some sort of or I'll say uncertainty is probably the better word. So strength is courage, patience, and taming the ego, but neutral here means that the lesson is in process. So this is, in essence, this is really kind of the essence of the twin flame path: patience, mastery of ego, unconditional love. But right now it's unstable. And some days the connection feels strong. Some days very, very fragile. Okay. So if you feel like you're being pulled, holding on, letting go between courage and collapse, just trust your intuition. If you really believe that you are on this journey, just start doing everything you can. Go within, start asking higher self, because you have the same higher self. So you're really, I know that with my twin, there's a lot of telepathic communication that goes on, a lot of conversations that go on in our heads. Not sure if they realize that telepathy or if it's just their thoughts. But that's the other thing too. A lot of people don't realize, people refer to it as telepathic communication, which is like one, kind of one message going to the next brain. But with the twin flame journey, it's more, you'll find that you're actually sharing thoughts. And that's when it gets real creepy and real wonky. I'm not going to go into all of that here today. So, but the journey begins, usually a twin flame journey will begin with imbalance, a lack of teamwork. Spirit will intervene with a tower to shatter that illusion. And then from the rubble, the spark reignites. But union cannot anchor until both souls have answered the call. Both have to answer the call. You can probably expect some communication. I'm not going to tell you what time frame. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be 10. That depends on you. The more you focus on you, and because the twin flame situation is it's a magnetism. It's not so much a push-pull, but it's a magnetism similar to like a magnet, where if you put two magnets together on the wrong side, they kind of repel each other, but on the right side, they will come together. And so that journey is, the more you focus on you and come this way, your twin is going to come this way too. But if you are constantly, if you're constantly trying to chase after them or manipulate situations, and especially, and this goes especially for those, if your twin happens to be in another situation or potentially another relationship, or they could be married, it's very, very, very important for you to steer clear of those situations, because anything you do to try to effectuate change on your own, just let the universe do what it's doing, okay? If you try to manipulate the situation, try to do anything to make them do what you want them to do, you're going to just further delay the situation. So yeah, that's the, but union is possible. It is 100% possible. I don't, from this spread and what I've channeled today, for those who are finding this video, it does not look like union is anchored in your current timeline at the moment, but there is reconnection energy. It's, excuse me, but the fully merging of that path requires surrender and balance from both sides. So the more work you do, the more your twin will mirror that back to you. And so again, I encourage you, really, really, really work on self. If your twin is out there, but if you really are on a twin journey and you really believe that you are bound for union at some point in the near future, and your twin is out there with somebody else, just know that they may still have some karmic lessons to learn. They may still need to go through some things in order to be ready for you. Because when you do come into union with your twin, you want it to be the most wonderful, highest vibrational experience and interaction and timeline that you two could possibly be on. And unfortunately, the hard truth is that that takes time. It is not something that's going to be lickety split. So, gird your loins and try to find some other outlets. Try to find a way to channel your energy into something. Like, I wrote a whole book. I did a lot of journaling, a lot of messages, and I guess I'll figure out some other things to talk about as I post more videos. But I did want to close with a poem that I wrote, and I might try to close with actually before I do that, I wanted to pull one of our Archangel Oracle cards, and that card that came out is Gifts from God. And I'm just going to, hold on, let me get my glasses. I'm going to read what it says. So what that says, that's from Archangel Sandalphon. We angels bring you gifts from the Creator. Open your arms to receive. And so what that says to me is like just what I was saying. Focus on you. Focus on your gifts. Focus on channeling all of this energy, this activation that you're receiving. It's a lot. It is a lot to deal with. It is a lot to process. And it may seem like you're the only one doing the processing, that your twin may just be off living their best life. But trust me, they're both sides are going through some things. So focus on your gifts. Focus on figuring out what your gifts are. And with that, I will leave you with this poem. And it goes like this. The scales must balance. The work must be shared. The tower must fall before the fire is fair. The trumpet calls, but one heart hides. The cup is offered, though small in size. Strength wavers, patience bends. Union delays, but spirit tends. Not denied, only delayed. Not broken, only remade. Twin flames will find each other when both stand whole. Not as halves seeking completion, but as strength and balanced souls. Yes. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you all the light and love. I'm going to try to get more content posted so that you can find support along your journey. And feel free to leave me comments, questions, or anything. And I will leave some additional. This was a collective reading. If you'd like to book a personal reading, I will leave those details and information in the pinned comment, in the description box, in the pinned comment. For now, until next time, namaste.